Hello everyone, my name's Daniel and in this video I'll show you how to set up your Nikon D500 so that you can take absolutely brilliant 4K videos. So, when we have a look at the camera now, the first thing we do is we switch it on. Who would have thought of that? Surprise. So, the next thing we take care of is that we are in manual mode. We can see it here on the M on the display. The manual mode gives us full control about exposure time and about the aperture. So let's leave the aperture alone for now, but let's have a look at the exposure time here. It's 1/60 and that's perfect because later we want to shoot 4K video with 30 frames per second. And when you're shooting with 30 frames per second, then you are good to go with the exposure time of 1/60. So after we've done that, we will go to the menu. And in the menu, we only look at the movie shooting menu. It's the menu entry with the green icon with the camera icon over here. The settings you see here now are the default standard values which come from the camera, and now we make our change to them. So, file naming. This one is optional. Standard, it's DSC prefix, but you can also say, for example, MOV for whatever you like, so that you have a prefix in front of the file name showing you this is a movie and not a photo, for example. So the destination is XQD here. I don't use XQD cards, I use the SD card. As long as you have one that's fast, then everything is fine. So from now on, I will not go through the menus here in that order. But I will go with a frame size and frame rate instead, because after we have changed this value to 4K, then some other things in the menu will be grayed out and set to default values which are used when shooting 4K. So don't bother with them now. Frame size, frame rate. Later we will shoot 4K video with 3840 to 2160 pixels with 30 frames per second, 30 pictures per second. That's what I told you before when having a look at the exposure time. So now you see image area is grayed out because now we're using the DX image area and we can't influence it now. We are not using the DX area, we're using a slightly smaller area of a sensor. The movie quality is set to high. To be honest, I never understood why someone who would buy a D500 camera would go for a low image quality, but nevertheless. So image area and movie quality are grayed out, as well as the active de-lighting, which is also grayed out. So let's continue with the ISO sensitivity settings here. What are you doing? Are you shooting ISO in auto mode or are you shooting with ISO in manual mode? It depends on what you're doing. In 90% of all shootings I use auto ISO, but you can also, it works really great, so I'm using it in auto ISO. But if you're 100% sure that nothing in your picture is having a change of light, then you can also set the ISO manual and leave it there. But as soon as something in your picture would change in the illumination, then better go for the auto ISO on, so that the camera handles ISO. If you have it turned on, then you should go to the maximum sensitivity field and you should enter a value of 10,000. This is my recommendation because I personally think that the camera should only be able to go up to the value of 10,000 ISO. After that, the image will suffer from noise and color noise, and we want to avoid that. So maximum 10,000 is the value the camera can set when it uses auto ISO. So back to the menu. White balance. What about white balance? Same here. You can say, okay, I want to make clear that the camera is only shooting the white balance I want. Then you can set it to the light you have available. For example, if you are outside in the direct sunlight or in cloudy weather, for example, my opinion is that the camera is really good at knowing which light conditions are there. And so you can go for the auto white balance mode here. Only change it to a hard value when it does something wrong. So, set picture control. This one is important. You have different presets on how the camera is controlling the picture right at the moment of the recording. So, I always go for FL, flat. Why do I do this? Shooting video and editing video is close to editing raw photos, but we don't have a raw feature here when it comes to video. So we have to make sure that our camera stores all the information available without corrupting them somehow by applying some filters or filter techniques or color grading techniques. So I want the camera to shoot flat because this profile FL gives me the most control about the video in the end when post-processing it. So go for flat. The next thing we have here is high ISO noise reduction. We leave it at normal, it does a good job. Flicker reduction, you can set it to auto. You can also set it to 50 Hertz or 60 Hertz depending on your regional power grid. I leave it at auto most times. Only when I see flickering in the images in the videos, then I'll go to 50 or 60 depending on what gives me the best results. In 99% auto does the job. Microphone sensitivity is all about audio. When I'm shooting with the inbuilt microphone from the Nikon D500, then I'm using auto sensitivity. When I'm using an external microphone, then I'm going to say, okay, I'll do it manually, and then I can set the values depending to what my microphone is getting from audio. So about now at the moment we leave it at auto sensitivity. Frequency response, this one's interesting as well. You have a selection to go for wide range or for vocal range. Voice is especially for voice when you want to make voice recordings. Me personally, I don't like the sound of that preset, so I always go wide even if I'm recording voice. The next thing is wind noise reduction. When we are shooting outside with the inbuilt microphone, then I'm using the wind noise reduction to reduce wind sounds on the microphone. But if we are in a closed area, for example in a building somewhere, then I turn wind noise reduction off because it's a potential source of error and it might give me failures. So I'm not doing that. So that's everything from the movie shooting menu. We've set the camera completely up and now we are able to shoot video. How do we do this now? The first thing to do before recording video is that we look at the switch here and it's now on photo mode. We switch it to video mode, and if we now activate live view, then you can see that the camera gives me the image area which is used for 4K. You can see my D7500 in the background now. So the next thing we have to make sure is how are we dealing with autofocus? Most times I'm only using manual focus so that I can be sure that the focus is set to what I want to record. But if you want to use the automatic focus, then you can, for example, in the AFS mode now select, now you can do the focus here when pressing the shutter button, the release button slightly. You can also control the autofocus when you turn on this button here, touch AFS on, and then you can touch on something in your picture and the autofocus will adjust the image. So mostly I turn it off after I've used it because sometimes I touch the display and then my image gets corrupted. So this is closely everything about autofocus. There's a lot more to reveal if you have the time to do that. One thing we haven't spoken about now is the aperture. I said leave it behind at the beginning of the video. Aperture is the same as when you're doing photos. For example, if you have a very low aperture like I have now with 1.8, then you see that but the camera now in the picture is clearly standing out from the background. This is something you might want, or it is something you might not want because you want to have the whole image very clear. And then you can set the aperture to a very high level, making the whole room more sharp than before. It's something you can decide. Whatever you're shooting, you should adjust the aperture to what you're shooting, to what looks good. So the only thing you have to notice about aperture is when you're already filming, then you can see it here on the camera screen. You have a short moment where the image is flickering. This comes from the auto ISO, which will adjust the missing light from, example, a high aperture by increasing the ISO values, or vice versa. When decreasing the aperture, then when there is more light available, so the camera will decrease the ISO values. And this is something you can see in the video later, and it is really getting on your nerves if you have to look at video material which is this flickering here. So before you shoot, make clear you are using the right aperture and keep at that aperture while you are making your video recordings. So yeah, how do we start with the recording now? You have this red button here to the left of the release button. You can push it down and then the recording starts, or you can push it again and the recording ends. When you're recording, make sure or keep in mind that the camera can only record up to 29 minutes and 59 seconds. After that, the recording will stop, but of course you can later restart the recording with another set of close to 30 minutes. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Have a nice day.